M0FXB, just a quick one, GD77S firmware instructions. So I'll put the link in the description. This is where you can get your firmware. So let's just, it says here, if you haven't already downloaded it, click here. So let's do it. Click on firmware. We'll let that load. Now this is the original firmware for the GD77S. We'll double click here. We'll extract it to our GD77 folder, which we've got on the desktop. Go OK. Right, let's find that folder. So it's here somewhere. There you go. This is what we've just extracted here. Let's have a look what's inside it. Programming software, firmware software. So there you go. Now I would say it's always the bin file that you need. I mind you, it's because it's using their software. It's the SGL file. So okay, let's go back one. Programming software. Let's run that. We've already got one software on this computer, but we're just learning. I have not got this radio. Launch. There you go. So it's all here. Basic information. General settings. Let's get our call sign in there. M0FXB and then DMR ID 234144437. There you go. That's the basics. Anyway, so to update the firmware, let's just minimize this a minute and look at the instructions. So you've got the firmware. We've opened up the file. We've got the firmware. Let's open up Word file in this folder. We've done all this. Print instructions. Turn off your GD77 and insert the programming cable. So make sure you've got the correct driver as well for the radio, so it shows up in your COM port. On the other side of your GD77S are two extra buttons below the PTT. These are referred to as side keys. In the instruction, press and hold the black side key number 1 and the blue side key number 2. Now turn on the radio while holding the keys. Whilst the indicator is green in color, this indicates that the radio has entered update firmware mode. Release the keys. Right, so then you go back to the firmware, like so. And we're going to go across to firmware loader. And we know we've got the 77S. If you've got the 77, use that one. So select a file and update. So we'll click select file. The current configuration will flash FM only firmware. If you want to enable DMR mode, you have to select an official firmware first. Right, so we don't want to do FM only. So let's click down here, select firmware, like so. We'll go here, double click, firmware, update software. It's not showing it there. So we've gone back to our file, firmware software, and we've got here update software. So there's actually software that we use. Let's have a quick look in here on the English bit. Update XE, I think that's the one we have to run. So we're going to go right click. We're going to go run as administrator. Yes. Right. Now we can browse. Now obviously if you had the radio, you've got to select the correct COM, which you'll find in device manager, which I won't find because I haven't got the radio. But it will show up here once you've run the correct software. So let's go back to where we were. Update, and then you browse and you're going to look for this file that I've got in the GD77 here, like so, and it's firmware software, and there it's one of these two, version 1 and 2. So let's just select one. Remember, I haven't got the radio, I'm just playing around here. Click download. No device found, of course, because I haven't connected the radio. So it's just a quick basic one of how to upgrade firmware. I'm just going to put the links in for the CPS, the firmware, and some instructions that I found. And yeah, let me know if this helps or not. It's just Andreas playing around. I have not got the radio. 7.3, all the best.